Good morning. This is Pastor Jeff, and this is our daily lectionary readings for Monday, October 30th. Our psalm reading is going to be Psalm 119, 41 through 48. Our Old Testament reading is going to be Deuteronomy 6, 1 through 9, 20 through 25. And our New Testament reading is going to be from the book of James, chapter 2, verses 8 through 13. With it being Monday, we are going to be reflecting back at what happened at church on Sunday. We'll go ahead and read it out of the message today. Psalm 119. Let your love, God, shape my life, my salvation, exactly as you promised. Then I will be able to stand up to mockery because I trusted your word. Don't ever deprive me of truth, not ever. Your commandments are what I depend on. Oh, I guard it with my life and what you've revealed to me. Guard it now, guard it ever. And I'll stride freely through wide open spaces as I look for your truth and your wisdom. Then I'll tell the world what I found. Speak out boldly in public, unembarrassed. I cherish your commandments. Oh, how I love them, relishing every fragment of your counsel. Our Old Testament reading comes from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verses 1 through 9. This is the commandment, the rules, and the regulations that God, your God, commanded me to teach you to live out in your land that you are about to cross into and possess. This is so that you'll live in deep reverence before God lifelong, observing all his rules and regulations that I'm commanding you. You and your children and your grandchildren, living good, long lives. Listen obediently, Israel. Do what you've told so that you'll have a good life, a life of abundance and bounty, just as God promised, and a land abounding in milk and honey. Attention, Israel. God, our God, God, the only one and only. Love God, your God, with your whole heart. Love him with all that's in your heart. Love him with all that you've got. Write these commandments that I've given you today on your heart. Get them inside of you, and then get them inside of your children. Talk about them wherever you are, sitting at home, walking in the street. Talk about them from the time you get up in the morning to when you fall into bed at night. Tie them on your hands and foreheads as a reminder. Inscribe them on the doorpost of your home and on your city gates. The next time your child asks you, what do these requirements and regulations and rules that God, our God, has commanded me? Tell your child, we were slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt, and God powerfully intervened and got us out of the country. We stood there and watched as God delivered miracle signs, great wonders, and evil visitations on Egypt, on Pharaoh and his household. He pulled us out there so he could bring us here and give us the land, so he solemnly promised to our ancestors. That's why God commanded us to follow all these rules so that we would be long and live reverently before God, our God, as he gives us the good life, keeping us alive for a long time to come. It will be set right and put together, life for us if we were to make sure that we do this entire commandment in the presence of God, our God, just as he commanded us to do. Our New Testament reading today comes from the book of James, chapter 2, verses 8 through 13. You do well when you complete the royal rule of Scriptures. Love others as yourself. But if you play up to those so-called important people, you go against the rule and stand convicted by it. You can't pick up and choose these things, specializing in keeping one or two things in God's law and ignoring the others. The same God who said, "Don't commit adultery," also said, "Don't murder." If you don't commit adultery but go ahead and murder, do you think that your non-adultery will cancel out your murder? No, you're a murderer, period. Talk and act like a person expecting to be judged by the rule that sets us free. For if you refuse to act kindly, you can hardly expect to be treated kindly. Kind mercy wins over harsh judgment every time. And here ends our readings for the day.